This video is the start of a new playlist on Jayonta's Garage, basically customizing and restoring die-cast cars, 1/64 scale. Today I have two 65 Mustangs. I'm going to be using this one to do a tribute car to the 8-ball.
Look out!
Hi everybody. In this episode we're going to be changing this number 6 65 Mustang to a number 8 65 Mustang, black 8-ball theme. I had a Mustang just like this back in the 90s that I had to sell prior to going to Korea for a year when I was in the Air Force. So fast forward, I don't know, 20 some years, then I'd really like to have that car back. Here's a picture of it. So I'm going to make this car as a little tribute to that car and hopefully raise some awareness. If I can find that car, I'd sure buy it now. I have a video that I'm going to put up in the a link for the whole story on that car. Let's do it. This car is held on with a plastic base and one rivet. We'll go ahead and drill that guy out of there. Okay, with all of that apart, I'm going to go ahead and leave the chrome base the way it is. I'll go ahead and leave that chrome. I will go ahead and swap out the wheels to make it look more like what I had in the car, although these are kind of close. The interior on the car was red originally, but we're going to do something different with that. Definitely no back seat. And paint, obviously, is going to be black, and I have some white numbers, although not sure they're gonna be small enough. Oh yeah, the 8 will probably work. Yep, those should work. Mine had a little 289 with some ported and polished heads, a cam from Crower for circle track, solid lifter, and an Edelbrock F4B intake manifold. F4B standing for Ford 4-barrel, which was really good.
Lemonade, and free lemonade.
I'm going to try a few different ways to get this paint off other than paint stripper. Since none of those attempts to get the paint off actually worked, so I'm going to go ahead and use chemical stripper. This has never been used, and I'm just going to do the dunk method where I just put this in there and let it sit for a while. So this is going to be virgin stripper. Let's let that sit for a little bit. Sure, it'll be bubbling in no time. I know everybody likes to see that, but I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. Okay, so after just a few minutes in the paint stripper, Doesn't look like it's doing a whole lot. So this is the stripper I'm using. Non-methylene chloride formula. I think this is the safest stuff. Works in 15 minutes. So let's give this one a little bit more time. I'm just going to drop it back in. See ya when the paint's off. So this might be a little bit. We'll leave it in here for a while and see what happens. So the windshield is good. I'll go ahead and use that. Probably going to, yeah, side windows can stay. Back window, I'll probably get rid of that. So to do that, I'm going to use this little cut-off wheel and on a slow speed so I don't melt the plastic. Okay, that'll work. I'll just clean up these little fuzzies and this will be good to go. So with the interior, my car actually had blue seats and they were racing seats. I don't know where I'm going to get a racing seat. The interior color is right. This seat and this seat I will probably just leave like this. It's got a console, it's got a stick shift, it's got a back seat. Mine did not have any of that, so let's see what we got to do here. So today I was watching Danny's Diecast Disasters, and he had this guy he was using with a transporter of some sort for a diorama, and I happened to notice this. This is the interior that I need for this car. It's got a roll bar already that I'll modify a little bit. It's got the racing seats in it that I don't have with this guy. So what I will do, I'll go ahead and modify this to put the Mustang dash and steering wheel onto this interior, and that should make it pretty realistic, and then I'll paint it all up. I'm stealing the Dremel that I use for clipping the dog's nails. I'll go ahead and separate these probably right in front of the, yeah, I'll do it right in front of the seats. That way, yeah, I'll just move this right over to there. I like this because it's really super quiet versus my other Dremel that is not super quiet. There we go. Okay, let's see how that fits together. Actually, it fits together really nice. Okay, so I'll glue these together and hopefully this will go right into the interior, into the car. I'll go ahead and clean these up with a file just a little bit. So the interior on my car actually was that color, this color. I mean, really bright red. But the only thing I had in the car that was that color was the dash pad, and the door panels, and the paint on the doors, and probably the parts back here that go cover up the space between the seat and the side of the car just below the window. Had the window crank assembly in it. You can just barely see it right there. So everything else was gray. That gray spackle paint with white sprinkles of white in it. That's pretty much, that should fit good just like that. It's pretty much what it was, and that's what I had in the trunk too. So this is not Cougar, so it looks like this is gonna have to go too. Yep, this is actually the package tray for the Mustang, so I'm gonna need this back piece off of here as well. Here we go. Then I'll cut this off too, right behind the back seat. Okay, that'll work right there. It's even got 2 connection points. That might work out mighty fine. Looks like I gotta probably cut these off. Mighty fine. Okay, so there we go. That should work. I might need to do a little bit of cleanup on that, but I think that'll work just fine. These are the forceps I'll be painting the car with, so it's good that I'm using it for paint stripper as well. Should keep the forceps relatively clean and paint free. Oh yeah, she's working. Finally. I'll leave some remnants in there just for posterity. First time use, de-virginized paint stripper. Not all the paint's coming off, geez Louise. Good bit of it is, but it's still stubborn on the hood there. Oh my gosh, we'll leave that sit for a little bit. Looks like everywhere else is coming off nice. We will see how that goes. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so I'll give this a good cleanup. Let the hood sit for a little bit longer, and then we'll be back for body prep before paint. Okay, so done with the paint stripping. I have to go back to one of those other ways I showed you earlier for getting the paint off. This stuff is pretty nasty, and after reading the label, I'm not sure I want that in here. I don't want to be smelling that, so let's, without further ado, let's get this off. Okay, it looks like I got all the paint out of the little nooks and crannies. Gotta have clean crannies, even on your car. And this looks like it is almost ready for paint. There's just a little bit more in here I'm gonna get out. My paint stripper's already messed up my brand new mat, which is not a good thing. Makes me look like a seasoned veteran, maybe, instead of this being my first diecast video. Alright, good enough. Go give it one more rinse in the hot soapy water and move on. Okay, we're back. Just FYI, after I wash these things in hot soapy water, soapy water, I go ahead and give them a shot of alcohol just to get off any contaminants from the soap that there might be. And I changed my gloves, because you don't want to paint this and then end up with fish eyes or any other paint anomalies that you got to deal with later. So I like to make sure everything's good. Now the engine of this thing, I'll tape that off. I'll go ahead and detail it the best I can. Although that is not accurate. I don't know what engine that is, but it looks like something I would have loved to have had in my car. There we go.